diligently trying to identify and locate these people. So in total, in the city of Los Angeles, since Tuesday when these fires occurred, we have 3 fatalities. Again, 2 were found in the fires, and 1 was a burn victim that was transported earlier this week to a hospital. That person later passed away. If you want to make a missing persons report, you can do so either in person or over the phone. You can call any one of our 21 geographic stations and make that report, or you can call our missing persons investigation unit directly. I'm going to give you the number. It's 213-996-1800 and select option 3. That telephone is manned 24 hours a day currently. As of this morning, the city of Los Angeles, related to the fires, has a total of 14 arrests, 3 for curfew, 1 for impersonating a firefighter, 1 for possession of burglary tools, 4 for burglary, 1 for DUI, 1 for felony vandalism, and 3 for shoplifting. As the sheriff just mentioned, it's not just for looting or burglary that you're going to jail or curfew. If you're in the area, you don't belong in the area, you will be stopped and questioned, and whatever crime is being committed, you will be held accountable for that. So please stay away from these evacuation areas. Regarding escorts, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we tried to be compassionate and put together a team to escort residents to their homes to either retrieve small pets or their medication. But that line became exceedingly large, and it was causing more problems than solutions. We have halted this escort service for the safety of everyone involved. Currently, we don't have any timeline of when we're going to open up that service, if at all. So please be patient with us. We know you are waiting. If you are still waiting at any of these checkpoints to be let in or escorted, please do not wait there. You will not be let in or allowed to have an escort at this time. Also, another important reason for stopping these escorts is because we have search operations beginning. Over the next 48 hours, we'll be working alongside LAFD Search and Rescue, our ATF partners, as well as the LA County Coroner's Office throughout the burn areas, giving priority to those people that are reported missing in these burn areas. From there, grid search will take place that could result in crime scene preservation and then recovery of remains. We hope that the high volume of resources dedicated to this effort will expedite the process. And as many of you know, the dry conditions and winds increasing, it's possible that evacuation orders may increase. I know overnight we saw some of the evacuation orders turn into warnings, but we can absolutely see some of these areas increase to mandatory evacuations again. So I urge you, we urge you, please heed these orders. It can save your life. And as we also previously mentioned, identifying the cause of these fires is critically important to all of us. In conjunction with our partners and led by ATF, we have created a Los Angeles Regional Wildlife Investigative Task Force. And while their work is still in the early stages, we're committed to identifying the cause and origin of these fires, and we're also committed to holding anyone who's responsible for these fires accountable. And to further protect the residents of Los Angeles, in the city, our curfew is also still in effect from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. In short, if you don't belong there, don't be there. In closing, I want to reiterate that our department and all of us standing here this morning are with you. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the firefighters, our fellow law enforcement partners, and volunteers who are putting themselves in harm's way to protect our communities and help people recover. Their bravery and dedication are truly inspirational. We are also grateful for the patience and cooperation of our residents during this difficult time. We know this is not easy. Thank you and be safe. At this time, I'd like to introduce Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman.
Thank you. With firefighters literally putting their lives on the line to save lives and to save homes, with law enforcement working around the clock to keep security at a high level, with over 200,000 people evacuated, and I'm one of them, and with people who have lost lives, lost homes, lost businesses, there are still people in our community who, rather than saying thank you, look at this as an opportunity to commit crime and to take illegal profit.
Good morning, good afternoon. What's up, everybody?
We've seen this come up, and
Hola.
we've heard law enforcement describe the arrests that have been made, whether those arrests are for looting, burglary, grand theft, whether those arrests are for arson, whether those arrests will eventually be for price gouging, because we have been seeing price gouging with hotels, people
Price
offering
gouging.
residents as well.
Price gouging, arrests, robberies. They said two people were arrested by Kamala Harris's house. Hell nah, come on. How you gonna do that? The military warehouse robbed. Kamala Harris's house almost robbed. What the heck is going on? What the? And not only that. Oh, I should have put it in the thumbnail. All right, I'm going back on. I'm back. Okay, thanks. Sorry, guys. The stream cut. Well, what happened was the app closed out on me, so I had to reopen it. Hopefully, you guys are still there. I know a percentage might have just left, but yeah. So I was talking about the Kamala thing, and also there was this thing last night where I got into. Okay, so LA Scanner. Let me just show the screen. LA Scanner. At one point, he had tweeted out that like the fires are pretty much gone in Palisades, and a couple of people disagreed. I disagreed, and I even got into it with a ABC7 person. You're not gonna believe that. A pilot. I don't know if he's a pilot, but he was on. He's the person that's on a helicopter. And if you look, and to be fair, if you look at the feed right now, it does look like it's out. I don't see a fire, but online and everywhere else, and even Gavin Newsom, they're saying it's like 13% contained or something like that, or whatever it is. So anyway, LA Scanner is now saying that he's getting death threats. I'm trying to, let me see. Okay, here it is. Right screen. Here. He posted today. He's getting death threats. That's crazy. I'm literally getting death threats on my personal account over a tweet. This has to stop. I'll be contacting authorities if you threaten me. He should, though. He really should. If he's getting death threats about it. But I know a lot of people were pissed off about the tweet yesterday. So I don't know what's what. I don't know what's what. You know. That's kind of what's happening with that.
Thank you.
Military
As
warehouse robbed.
They
almost robbed Kamala Harris.
Essential to getting our impacted residents back on their feet. Today and yesterday, FEMA staff have been at 7 county libraries, plus the Alhambra Library, providing support to individuals who are seeking FEMA relief. Tomorrow, these services will transition to centralized assistance centers, one at Pasadena City College and the other at UCLA Research Park. These centers will be in-person venues where all impacted individuals can receive direct support
Hold on.
from
Damn.
FEMA's assistance program,
I missed something
which
really
helps
important.
residents access lodging, essential items, and other large financial needs. You can visit recovery.lacounty.gov for all the details. And I would encourage everyone listening to go to one of these sites, because I was at Pasadena Convention Center. I know Supervisor Sleece, you were as well. And I saw people handing out cards. I don't know who they are. I don't know who they represent. But people are looking for an opportunity. At these recovery centers, you will have legitimate government officials who are going to work with you to make sure.
Oh, God. Check this out. Hell no. Let me see if I can tag. I forget what's the name of this chick. Always talking crap on Twitter and me tag her ass. But they're saying this guy that was arrested for starting these fires, apparently the man who was detained by LA residents after they accused him of trying to start a fire in their community is an illegal immigrant. Oh my God. The man illegally crossed the border from Mexico, according to Fox. Oh no. The illegal was initially detained by residents after they saw him walking around the neighborhood with a blowtorch. Hell no. Hell no. Good morning.
And to discuss what comes next. Many wildfire survivors I've met, spoke with, have repeatedly told me they're worried about the rebuilding process. Specifically, many have mentioned that they are eager to begin clearing debris and seeing what valuable possessions survived this devastating fire. I want you to know that yesterday, the governor issued an executive order to streamline this rebuilding process. This executive order is going to make rebuilding homes easier by cutting red tape and make it as affordable and efficient as possible for our residents to clear debris. Yesterday's executive order, along with the previous order to waive the CEQA requirement in rebuilding, are two unprecedented actions that will be essential to making our community whole again. I know that our wildfire survivors want nothing more than to begin the rebuilding process, and it is our job in government to get out of the way. Our neighbors deserve nothing less. To all the residents in our county, we must maintain diligence over the next few days as winds increase again. Please listen to law enforcement and their evacuation notices. And believe me, I heard last night, many are frustrated. These next few days are crucial in our fighting of the existing fires and also preventing any new fires. Thank you for taking it seriously. I'd now like to introduce LA City Mayor Karen Bass.
Karen Bass, what happened? Where's everybody at today? Let me see if this chopper's still up in the air. Not that one. Fox.
By both the LAPD and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The death toll now stands at 24. Many of those people have not yet been identified, and sadly the sheriff said he expects that number to go up. 48 people have now been arrested on charges of anything from looting to shoplifting to curfew violations to impersonating a firefighter.
28 or 48?
Visibly angry District Attorney Nathan Hochman, who himself has been evacuated, called those suspects despicable and disgraceful and said he intends to prosecute them to the full extent of the law. When can you return home? Some evacuation orders are now warnings, so you'll need to check. You may be allowed to return home, but about 92,000 people still remain under an evacuation order, and those orders are not going to be lifted anytime soon, and that is because of the wind event that we are expecting. What about those alerts, the alerts that we almost all got on our phones in error? Well, according to the Los Angeles County Emergency Management, the glitch has been fixed, and the fire chiefs are begging you to please not turn off that emergency alert, and if you get it, you should go.
Thank you, Supervisor.
And please do
Angelinos,
not silence
as
the
we
emergency
continue to
alerts
experience
on your
the
telephone.
What the hell? Oh, they're back?
If
and
we
the
send
anger,
out an alert at
we have to
3
stand-
a.m. on
I don't know who to listen
Tuesday
to, Bass or this guy?
or Wednesday night, Wednesday morning, when you're sleeping, we want you to wake up.
Our
The hell?
professional
What the?
advice to anybody out there is to make sure you're ready, to make sure you have a plan.
48 looters.
We talk
Wow.
about the pets. We talk about the medications. Put your plan together. Be ready.
What, do you get arrested?
And you do not have to wait.
Chief Crowley stressing that if you get an evacuation warning, which means you should be ready to evacuate at a moment's notice, but you have extenuating circumstances. Maybe you have someone in your home with special needs that would need
And so there was 2 people arrested by Vice President Kamala Harris's near her house. They got a call around 4:40 in the morning. Whoa. 2 men dressed in all black, according to some reports.
PD responded to a burglary call this morning about 4:30. This was at the home of Vice President Kamala Harris.
Even the vice president getting robbed in California. Everybody's getting robbed in California.
2 men dressed all in black. They were detained by police and then questioned, but then later released. The Secret Service also responding to that same call. Those 2 men were inside the evacuation zone while the curfew was in effect. Now, it's unclear if anybody was actually home at the time of that call.
Darlene. Madam Vice President, have you returned the ballot to California, and how did you vote on Prop 36?
So my ballot is on its way to California, and I'm going to trust the system that it will arrive there. And I am not going to talk about the vote on that because, honestly, it's the Sunday before the election, and I don't intend to create an endorsement one way or another around it. So, but I did vote.
PD responded to.
All right.
Loans, and they will provide referrals for mental health counseling and other services. We anticipate that there will be representation for over 20 city departments. There will be representatives from the state and federal departments and agencies. Later today, we are also going to be releasing policies on the city level that will help with the rebuilding process. So as we continue to go through these next few days, where the fires are still a serious threat, we also want to begin to help people put their lives back together and to prepare to rebuild our city. I also want to again remind Angelenos that lacity.gov is now a one-stop shop for assistance for those who are impacted and a place to help Angelenos find a way to get involved. As the winds pick up, please stay safe. Please heed the call to evacuate should you receive that. And remember to heed all public safety guidance. Thank you.
I'm Lindsay Horvath, Supervisor for the 3rd District of Los Angeles County. The latest Palisades fire updates, as you've heard, more than 23,000 acres have been impacted by this fire, and it is 14% contained. We have over 5,100 personnel, including 44 helicopters and 500.
Somebody sent me an email about this. I think it was about this lady. And they were telling me, Mel, I've never seen you talk like that. How can you say that? Like, oh, you're so. She's been watching for a long time. And I think it was because of the Horvath, but that's literally her last name. I didn't make up Horvath. That's what her name sounds like. I don't know the pronunciation, not the pronunciation, but I don't know the spelling. I know it's a little bit different. But when you say her name, we've been talking about this, it's literally Horvath. And so I got this email from some lady that she seems nice and well-intentioned, but she's like, as a black woman, I'm made fun of all the time, and I'm surprised you did that, whatever. That's her name. I didn't make that up. Her name is Horvath. Give me a break.
Morning until Wednesday, we strongly encourage caution and vigilance. I'm
catching heat because she must have really got teased because I'm catching heat for her name. She must have really caught I can imagine growing up with that name. I understand, but yes, I didn't make it up. That's literally her name.
To follow all orders. All Santa Monica, Malibu.
Okay, so let's see. Who said it? In the chat. Harold said it's Horvath. So Horvath. I think that is how it's pronounced. Horvath. But somebody sent me a lengthy email. I replied back to her really nice, but I'm just like, that's literally her name. I wasn't like,
Topanga Charter Elementary, Lanai Road Elementary, and Paul Revere Middle School. Our Department of Mental Health has resources for how to speak with our young people about wildfires at dmh.lacounty.gov. We need to support our children in this time and make sure they're able to talk about this.
While we're on the topic, there is let's see if I can find it. That OnlyFans lady I forgot how much she slept with previously in one day. There was like 500 people. Her goal, this is a good screenshot. Her goal was now to sleep with 1,000 men. And so this lady slept with 1,000-something men in 12 hours. Her name is Blue. I don't even want to say her name to promote her, but Blue Bonnet or something like that. Blue Bonnie. Slept with 1,000-something. I'm going to see if I can find the post. Men.
Maps to indicate your property location and status, comprehensive list of county resources by department, federal, state, local, and nonprofit emergency assistance. Once again, that website is recovery.lacounty.gov. Our Department of Economic Opportunities East LA Entrepreneur Center and America's Job Centers of California open today as well to support impacted workers as well as small businesses. As far as public health updates, the air quality smoke advisory continues through next week. Please wear N95.
So they're saying 1,057. 1,057 men in 12 hours. It's wild. And she's posting videos and all this stuff. She don't even look good to me. She looks washed up. Imagine when she gets. She's probably 20-something years old. She looks like she's 50, near 50 or something. But 1,057 men, and it's all over her her Twitter, all over the place. And let me just say, I peeked over last night. Not for that reason. Not because I peeked last night. They're not even using protection. She's not even using protection. I saw she wasn't even using protection, and some dude had his face all up in her thing. After I don't know how many men have been in her, homeboy had his whole face inside her stuff. I couldn't believe it. Sorry, I know it's early, but I was just kind of like taken back. I was like, wow.
And Inner Cabrillo Beach in San Pedro. To stay informed about the latest emergency orders, you can go to emergency.lacounty.gov. And I want to once again thank all of those who are on the front lines, keeping us safe through this very difficult time. All of our volunteers who have kicked into action to ensure that our community members are supported. And I also want to thank our governor for an additional executive order in addition to the one that he issued yesterday to expedite debris removal and to reduce the risk of mudslides. As we know, rain is predicted starting next week, and these complicated conditions may only worsen. We thank him for his foresight and his partnership.
Helen Chavez, Communications Director for Chair Catherine Barger. Chair Barger recognizes and thanks the following elected representatives for joining us this morning and for their ongoing support during this emergency.
Part alternation Mark Mandy L. donated $4.99 through Super
California
Chat.
Board of Equalization,
She has a roast
Antonio
beef
Vasquez,
sandwich, face vomiting,
Santa
face
Monica
vomiting.
Mayor Lana Nagrete, and State Senator
As they continue
Sasha
there, we'll keep an eye on it. But clearly, as we are hearing from city and county officials, we're not out of the woods yet, and it's going to be a crucial next few days. Officials spoke about a number of issues as we go forward. A few takeaways from those. They addressed repopulation, saying that they understand the urgency, but they're asking for patience and explaining that, it's being held up because of the grid searches that they're doing. The third day of a grid search, they are looking to identify possibly human remains, also to preserve potential crime scenes. So they are really asking for patience from people right now. Also, DA Nathan Hochman had some strong words for those who are trying to loot or scam or take advantage of this tragedy. He said that the criminals have decided this is an opportunity. I'm here to tell you this is not an opportunity. The warning, he says, will have teeth behind it.
And he also mentioned that an arrest has been made in an arson case, not related directly to the two big fires we're covering. But he said we will have charges pressed against that individual later today. So we'll be learning more about that. And usually these arsonists, it's not just one fire with them. They'll try and set multiple fires if it turns out to be the case. Meanwhile, I think we want to check in with Gabe Santos in Air 7 over the Palisades fire.
Yeah, John, we're taking a look at the Pacific Palisades side of things, and with the flight restrictions still in effect, it is still kind of difficult to get right overhead and really see some of this damage. But even from a distance, I've seen this a couple times now. Those are the Alphabet Street neighborhood right there in the center of your screen, and it's no matter what way you put it, it's still shocking to still see the entire neighborhood really just completely demolished. So definitely, as we heard in that press conference, it's going to take quite some time to recover. There's a lot of things that need to be worked out. One thing I've noticed while looking in this neighborhood is that you don't see any pedestrian traffic or any, citizen traffic. You see a lot of police going street by street, inspecting, making sure things are okay. You see a lot of utility work. We've seen a few convoys of fire trucks going up and down Sunset Boulevard. There's still a fire presence in the neighborhood, and they're going to make sure that if any hot spots or any smoldering areas pop up, those will be put out quickly, especially with the wind that we're expecting. an eye on, as we are not out of the woods yet. Live in our 7, Gabe Santos, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Gabe, thank you. Our team coverage continues on the ground with Eyewitness News reporter Jaysha Patel. Jaysha, tell us where you are and what's the latest.
Yeah, Rachel, right now we're on Swarthmore and Sunset Boulevard. Just to my right, you can see where an old Starbucks actually used to be, just completely destroyed. The patio furniture still outside. If we pan the camera across the street, you can actually see where the National Guard is. This is a site that we've seen since we came in this morning to the Pacific Palisades. We've seen a heavy law enforcement presence and the National Guard here, of course, to protect the area, especially from looters, which has been an issue. As of this morning, the Palisades fire has burned more than 23,700 acres. We just learned this morning that the containment is slightly up to 14%, and that crews estimate more than 5,300 structures have burned. As we've been talking about throughout the morning, many of those structures are homes. And as you heard in the press conference, if you were listening, the DA did announce that a press conference is happening at 2 p.m. this afternoon,
2 p.m.
and where they're going to announce some charges for people who were caught looting some homes, as well as a man who's getting charged for arson over in Azusa. And so, of course, we'll continue to be at that press conference later this afternoon and continue to stay on top of the containment numbers and what comes out of that press conference. But for now, live in the Pacific Palisades, Jaysha Patel, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Jaysha, thank you very much for that. And let's go to another area in Pacific Palisades and talk to Monica de Anda. Monica.
Monica. So okay. So the part of the title is about this mother. So I covered that this lady, her son died. It's really sad. Her son died. He has cerebral palsy, I guess they call it. Mother of former child star killed in Palisades fire speaks on devastating loss. We're gonna take a look at the interview, but apparently her son had told her to leave me behind. Just, save yourself, leave me. And so the mother left, and this person passed away. And it's interesting because there was another story, somebody else, that their child had the same condition, and the parents stayed with them, and the parent and the child died. I wonder, it's a horrible thing to think about, but what would you do in that situation? I don't know. The situation is the way it is. I understand, I guess they're immobile, they can't move, or they can't, So, but why can't I don't understand? You can't put them in a wheelchair. I'm not trying to be I'm just wondering. Okay, when somebody has that condition, I know they can't really move. You can't just put them in a wheelchair. You don't have any kind of mobility. I don't know. It's just it's a little strange. I don't know. If it was me, I'm a big guy. If it was my kid, I'd lift their ass up. You motherfucker, you're coming with me. I don't know, by whatever means necessary. Whether I have to carry your body, I have to lift you up or something. I know maybe she can't lift them up. I understand that, she's, but it's just I don't understand why they just have to die. There was the other story where the parent died with their kid. I did see her mention peacocks. So she saved her peacocks? People are right to die about their animals. So fire broke out. She fought back tears, recalling the final moments of her 32-year-old Rory. Born blind. Damn. Blind and with cerebral palsy. That's crazy. He was always worried about me. I think he felt guilty. I did so much for him. He was my baby. No mommy leaves her kid with their special need. Well, when they're special. Yeah, she grabbed her peacocks and drove down to try to get help. But by the time she got back, he was dead. Wow. Peacocks. Yeah, that's sad. I don't know. Harris. That Mayor Bass? crazy. Attempted break-in, report of person to set fire, 3 masked men breaking into, group attempting to break in. Look at this. Oh, you can't see the whole thing. Let me show it. There we go. People looting evacuated homes in Brentwood, front door of residence broken into, group breaking into house. Oh, they're coming up. They're taking advantage. Criminals. I guess they said it was a Simpsons episode too. Hollywood on fire. Simpsons predicting the future.
Orange and dark. Even the famous Hollywood sign starts smoking. Families have to leave their homes quickly. Traffic jams fill all the roads. People wear masks because of the smoke. Firefighters work day and night. Everyone keeps checking their phones for news. The Simpsons predict the fire will last for weeks because no rain comes to help. Winds keep blowing strong. There's too much dry grass and trees. Firefighters get very tired. Animals run into the city to escape flames. Famous movie studios have to shut down. The smoke makes daytime look like night. People can't go outside for days. But communities help each other and people share their homes with strangers.
Uh-oh. Mario posted on Twitter, modern slavery in 2024. This has nothing to do with the fires, but 46 million people enslaved worldwide. Despite laws banning slavery, 167 countries still practice modern forms of it, from forced labor to human trafficking and child marriages. Top offenders, North Korea, Eritrea, Mauritania, whatever that is. But India and China lead by total numbers. Damn, China! And it's not just distant regimes. The U.S. ranks 10th globally with over 1 million enslaved individuals. How? Where's BLM? Where's Black Lives Matter? Largely through trafficking and forced labor. While some governments pass anti-slavery laws, enforcement remains weak. Damn. I'll just skip past that. Celebrities have lost over 155 million worth of homes in Los Angeles. They're pissed. They are pissed. I don't know. I think I played this last night.
So he was asking, like, why do we care? Like, how?
Communist and Marxist Hassan Ali, whatever his name is, was talking to the prisoner.
We got involved, and like, that's a long story.
Which, by the way, I think, did I have it here? I think it was Newsom. I think Newsom had said, or who was it? I don't know. Somebody had said that those guys should be able to, once they're done with their term, they should be able to be firefighters. Which I thought that was kind of dope. If they turn their life around, I thought it was kind of cool. They could be firefighters. Must watch extraordinary video as woman narrates how she and her family stayed behind to save their family home.
So on Tuesday morning, my cousin, who's a battalion chief for LA County Fire, texted our family group chat and said, "Don't go to work today. Everyone needs to go to the house. Start watering things down, start prepping. There's a light up behind you in the Palisades and there's a lot of wind. Anything could happen today." Chase and I jumped in the car and drove from our place in Santa Monica back to my family home that I've lived in since I was born, and my dad and my sister were already there prepping. Dory packed up the dogs and got out and evacuated back to our place, and we just started watering everything down. We moved all of the patio furniture away from the house, got our pool pump and our fire hose ready to go, and just started preparing for the absolute worst. We brought a ladder up to the roof and just started washing down all of the eaves, all of the vegetation, running the sprinklers. We knew what was coming, but we thought we were going to be okay. We just kept thinking, as long as the airdrops can stop the fire from crossing this ridge, we're going to be okay. My cousin ended up getting stationed nearby, and he stopped by and just told us to keep doing what we were doing, that he would be in the area, but probably wouldn't be able to make it back for a while. Smoke just kept getting thicker and thicker, and then once the fire jumped the ridge, we had tree branch-sized embers hailing down on our house and touching our roof, touching our lawn, touching our vegetation, the AstroTurf lawn, just melting it. And we just kept hosing it and doing our best to fight the embers. Our neighbors thought we were crazy as they started evacuating, and as things got more and more serious, it became harder and harder to take videos. And then, like, the worst thing we thought could happen, the fire ripped from that ridge all the way across the mountain to the other ridge. We all just kept fighting the embers and watering it down. We knew it was just going to get worse.
Marilyn Gardner donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Her arm is broken and she went to go get FF and came back and the cottage was in flames.
Oh, are you talking about the lady, their son? Oh, damn. Thank you for the 5. Her arm was broken and she went back. Okay, wow. Kimberly, thank you for the 5. Says, hi, Mel. There are different forms of cerebral palsy. I have a mild form of it, and I can walk without a wheelchair as long as
Kimberly donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Hi, Mel. There are different forms of cerebral palsy. I have a mild form of it and can walk without a wheelchair as long as I go short distances. Smiley face.
I didn't know there were different forms either of it.
The LA County Fire Department was going up and down the street telling everyone they needed to evacuate now, that the fires were coming. And then we started seeing the first houses going up. There were huge booms in the distance. The firing embers just kept raining down all around us, and our neighbors' houses started catching fire. We just did our best to use our garden hoses to just keep hosing them down, putting out the embers wherever we could. We fired up our gas-powered pool pump and started using that. There were just huge plumes of black smoke everywhere, huge booms of things exploding from people's homes. All of the vegetation started going up, and then before we knew it, the fire had jumped the canyon in our neighborhood and started lighting up across the way. We went and were putting out fires on the houses below us any chance we had a minute to breathe. Not really breathe because the smoke was so thick. We were all wearing masks. We didn't have goggles, so we were wearing sunglasses. And then my sister found these blue blocker glasses. My dad's truck caught on fire and she put it out, and somewhere in the middle of this, Chase broke the water main with the fire hose and then MacGyvered it back together with a random piece of PVC and saved us. When the sun set, it just was the brightest, most horrible night of our life. We watched our entire neighborhood burn across the way, and there was nothing we could do but try to protect the homes around us. We'd lost all power and utilities. We still had water on our side because we weren't technically in Malibu. And that was really what saved us. We had no engines or support on our side, and we couldn't figure out why. It was so sad to just see all of the ashes and everything burning. Our eyes lit up and got so infected. We ended up scrounging for one pair of goggles. Everything was burning. We ended up finding a couple of masks left over from COVID time. We went to a neighbor's house, and their deck was completely on fire. One of their gates chased in, and by the time we were able to open the other gate, 30-foot flames were erupting behind him. Anytime things got too gnarly, we had to stop filming, but we did our best to capture things for our neighbors who we love. My dad had our emergency generator powered up, so we were able to get a couple more hours of light, but it didn't do much for us. We had to be really careful and conserve it. And the next morning, it was just horrible to wake up and know that it wasn't even close to being over. We were just covered in thick ash and soot. And we started doing shifts every hour, and we started getting reports about what it was looking like, and we decided to drive around the neighborhood and see if there was anyone who needed help. And that's when we noticed the true destruction that our beloved community was facing. We didn't know what we were going to do, but my dad and I were trying to see if there was anyone we could help in the neighborhood. And then we realized why we had no engines on our side. They were all over here, and they just couldn't do enough. The fire absolutely ripped all the way across our ridge through Topanga.
And it is just so devastating to see what happened to my neighborhood that I've lived in since I was a baby. But we knew that it wasn't over yet because the winds were still strong and flare-ups kept happening. So all of these areas that were smoldering kept burning up. We kept going with snorkel masks, and we were able to protect our eyes. And then in the middle of the night,
Tijo, how'd you know that? Oh my God.
We thought it was a looter coming into the backyard.
Yo, Mel's Chinese torture test. You guys are crazy.
And I realized that there was a fire on the hedge of our neighbor's house. I charged up the muddy hill with our garden hose, and then their window exploded from the flames inside their house and broke all over me. I started screaming for my dad and Chase, and my dad and I crawled a fire hose up the muddy hill as Chase fed us slack. And then luckily a fire engine was going by and they stopped and were able to extinguish the structure fire before it spread through our whole street, which is the only part still standing. It was a long night.
This is kind of crazy.
After the fire department left, we just kept running around to our neighbors' houses, trying to put out other fires, and they just told us to keep doing what we were doing, that there was any small flare-up could be disastrous. We thought we were in the clear here because the wind had died and the stars were out, but it was absolutely
The stars were out? Who cares about the stars? What the hell?
brutal. The next morning, Chase went and used someone else's pool pump to extinguish a fire on their hill.
All right, you guys are over it? Okay, there's only 20 seconds left. Then I'm happy with that. All right. I did play that yesterday too. That one I didn't play. I never played this one because this one's like, this is 13, 14 minutes long. I never played this video. I was going to play it, but it just kind of been dancing around it. As far as the updates for today, let's see. Most school districts reopened.
Is all not happening anymore, and that is because the flames here completely leveled the school. The vibrancy of this campus is no longer. It is utterly silent out here. I want you to take a look at some images that we've captured for you showing what is left of this damage. That colorful mural really stands out to us. It's one of the only things untouched by the flames. A child's tiny shoe among the ashes. Unfortunately, we know this isn't the only campus that's been damaged by the recent wildfires. Superintendent Alberto Carvalho spent the weekend addressing the damage, assessing the damage, that is, to all LAUSD schools and coming up with a path forward for learning. Here's what the superintendent had to say last night ahead of this morning's reopening.
Tomorrow is not going to be a normal day. Students, our workforce in many instances will come back having witnessed and experienced a level of destruction without parallel in the history of our community. Therefore, we are going into tomorrow with grace, with patience, with empathy, with support, with love to address the needs of our children, their families, and our own workforce.
LAUSD reopened all but 7 campuses today. You can see the other openings and closures up on your screen right now. We also have the full list up on our website, abc7.com. Now, the superintendent also emphasized that they did do HVAC filter replacements to 1,000 campuses across the district, so they're really taking safety here, keeping that top of mind. Also, they will be having face masks available for students and employees to make sure that they are safe and that when they're going outside, it is going to be very limited time in the outdoor activity as well. Reporting live from Pacific Palisades, Monica de Anda, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Okay,
Monica de Anda. So it seems like things have gotten better in Cali. That's what it seems like.
Today, the 7th, you can see it down there, those red dots in Palisades. And then on the 8th, the Eaton fire and Palisades fire, they just explode. Those red dots are the heat signatures detected in orbit by those fires and those satellites. Then on the 9th, the aerial assault really starting to get some work. You can see how the fire lines sort of separate. The 10th, the fire lines start getting better. Then on Saturday, the 11th, the Eaton fire really dying down here, but then a huge fight in Mandeville Canyon for the Palisades fire. And then yesterday, the 12th, look at what's left. Just a few small spots right here on the Eaton fire and the Palisades fire. And then the great news, Chris, today, I just looked at the updated info. There's absolutely nothing. The Eaton fire cannot be detected, or the Palisades fire cannot be detected detected in orbit anymore, which is an incredible sign that firefighters are starting to get the upper hand. Coming back out live here to me, this doesn't mean the fight is over. The hand crews in both locations, Eaton and Palisades, are continuing to work to make.
Some people said it's over. Some of these people who are arguing with me said it's over. If it's over, what's going on?
Important message. I really appreciate it, and I know that those who need the help do as well. And I want to show you some of the other volunteers that we're seeing here and people coming by with supplies. And one of the things we're hearing is that they still need large diapers. So we're talking sizes 6 and up. They say they also need pull-ups. And just a short while ago, you pulled up. And what is your name?
My name's Margie Newman.
And you are an RN, and you came with baby supplies.
We came with diapers, wipes, blankets, clothes, baby food, tons of formula. We're also offering free pregnancy tests and free ultrasound if needed.
And why did you feel compelled to come out here?
Because there's moms. Oh, now I'm going to cry. There's moms that have babies and they need, they left their homes. They need diapers and wipes and basics and water. There's so much water here.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Well, not the first thing on my mind when it comes to the city burning down is let me get a pregnancy test, but I guess they're offering free pregnancy tests.
So there's just a lot of need, and also even people who did not lose everything are still losing out on paychecks and so forth. So a lot of need out there. Let's send it back to you.
Absolutely. All right, Christy, thank you so much. Good information there. And of course, we want to welcome you and invite you to join Fox's support of families impacted by the California wildfires. Your donation enables the Red Cross to respond to and help people recover from this disaster. So visit go.fox.
All right. Let's take a look at this clip. This looks interesting. Let me see if I can show you guys. Okay, there. Let's take a look.
Los Angeles is being governed, and the state of California is being governed by people who have lost sight of the basics of governing. They have lost sight of the idea that we pay you a tax so that you take care of basics for us. And nothing could be more basic than preventing the burning down of, as you just said in your introduction, an area twice the size of Manhattan. Right? It's hard to conceive of how big this is. I woke up to text messages. Almost everyone we know has evacuated their home. We know people that have lost their homes. And the reason that there's so little trust, and the reason that you saw in that clip, that mother confronting Governor Newsom with such rage, is because there's so much that led up to this moment. There was, just to choose one example, in our neighborhood, a middle-class neighborhood in LA, not particularly fancy, the police, if you called them for a robbery, and there were many, many robberies in our neighborhood, they would take an hour, sometimes 2 hours to show up. It had become almost like Brazil. It had become normal for middle-class people, upper middle-class people, to pay for private security, despite the fact that they were paying enormously high taxes already. So was it the fact that, the city cut the spending in the fire department by $17 million? Was it the fact that they were spending more on homelessness initiatives than on preventing fire? Was it Look, I don't know. What I know is that the broader context in which this fire is happening is a context of total incompetency and leaders who are putting niche luxury issues, ideological issues, over and above the most fundamental things, keeping you and your family safe from crime, keeping you and your family safe from fires.
That's the job.
That's it.
Well,
Los Angeles.
I guess that's it for today. I just came on for a little bit, wanted to check in. I have a couple of things I got to do today, but again, the lady with 1,000 men under her belt.
1,000 was completely done. So it started off, I really have no view.
Hello. I got 1,000 men.
Gangbangs after gangbangs to start with. It was just like...
With the gangbangs. I know she ain't got no kids. With the gangbangs.
The room was absolutely full. Then we did groups of 5, like one after the other of 5s. I wanted to give people more time, so then it went down to like one-on-ones, didn't it? So like one person would watch whilst I was with somebody.
One person would watch.
And then it would literally just be like a rotating circle like that. The big 1,000 was completely done. So
congratulations, ma'am. Congratulations. we're so happy for you that you've accomplished your goals in life. That's amazing. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for today. Maybe I'll be back on later. We'll see what pops off with updates and stuff like that. Subscribe if you haven't been subscribed already. And check out the second channel. And yeah, love you guys. Bye. Adios. Bloop, 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 bloop.